Mrs. Worth sent me an email that had some talking points and some things that some parents had concerns about, and so I wanted to bring it up. The first one was about lockers, 6th grade lockers.
6th grade lunches.
6th grade lunches. The reason why the 6th graders eat last is just the effects of the schedule. It's not, you know what I mean, like it's just the way that the schedule had worked out. It's nothing that can be changed. I mean, it's nothing that can't be changed. If we want to, we'd just have to flip around. 7th grade would be the only one that stays in the middle. It would just mean that 8th grade would go last and 6th grade would go first. And that's something we can look in for next year if there's really a concern. I know that sometimes some of the, teachers have let the kids eat snacks if they're, if they want snacks or things like that. But if it really is a concern, we can go through or it can get switched. It's nothing that is stuck in stone. And we can probably talk to the kids and see. We have been working with the cafeteria, though, because they were at first, specifically at the beginning of the year, running out of food. And so making sure that they have enough food when the kids go through. The kids are very unhappy about the lunches, mostly, is what I hear, because of all the new FDA rules and things coming out of DC, they're very small. And, yeah, like even the hamburgers are disproportional size. So, but that's all dictated by the federal government. So there's not nothing we really can do that way. But basically, we're just trying to keep up with the policies. There's a certain amount of grains that they have to have and proteins and things like that. That's all coming out of the federal government. So unfortunately, that's kind of tricky. The other part that, is there anything about lunches then, or anything else?
Hey, Mike, can you get that door?
Salad bar. They have salad bar. For example, when kids get a hamburger, can they add stuff
They
to the
have
salad
little-
bar, like
they don't-
lettuce, tomatoes, or onions to their hamburgers? And I mean, and if so, are they being told that?
They really can't. There's not like a salad. Well, there is like a lettuce, and they can now the salads I've seen them come out in like pre-made salad boxes. You know what I mean? Like they're already made up. There used to be lettuce and like some cheese that they could put on it, but now it's all comes out in a box. So and the hamburgers and stuff are just wrapped up. It is really very prescribed. I don't know how else to say.
It's different from last year?
Yeah.
Because I know Flynn had a salad bar.
Yeah, it's different from last year, and it's actually like across the state, like kids are picketing because they're not getting as much food, and it's just they reduced the amount of calories and and all the nutritional guidelines that came from the federal government. So our program, Ms. Rodriguez has done a pretty good job of trying to be creative with what she has to do, but it really is even to the point where they have to have 2 proteins and 1 grain and 1 fruit. I mean, like it's a very specific thing. The other thing that was brought up is about the fights. There's some concerns about the fights. To be honest with you, it's 6th grade. The question was, where is it coming from? 6th grade, and I don't know. I've actually talked a lot lately. I've talked to 6th grade teachers. We had a big faculty meeting and looked at it. And we're putting together like an advisory lesson to talk to the 6th grade kids about it. But like we've had one 8th grader got into a fight with one 7th grader, and then we've had a separate 7th grade fight, and then everything else has been in 6th grade. So I don't know. Last year we had the same thing that went on, but we had 2 new grade levels that were new to us. And when the kids fight, they get harsh punishments. It's not like every time they fight at school, they're suspended out of school. We talk to them. All that kind of stuff. So I just don't know. We've really talked about. I actually had a meeting with the superintendent about what we can do in the summer to transition it. It's boys. I mean, it's 6th grade boys. Is a very specific demographic, but trying to transition the kids in. Maybe that we can do some things. And I don't know if it's because I don't know if it's at the elementary schools. That they don't know each other.
From certain schools?
No, actually, but different elementaries treat it differently. I know at Pershing, if you fight, you get suspended, but I don't know that all the principals do it that way. So it just may be a growing pain, but we do need to do some thought and talk to the kids and try to figure it out. Specifically, you would think it would be the reverse, like the 8th grade kids, but it's not. Our 8th graders, knock on wood, I mean, really have been doing a phenomenal job this year. Their referrals are the least of anybody. It's like the new kids. So I don't know. It's something to look at and to try to figure out. And I don't know if it's because they don't know each other. Like we had 2 boys in a French class that went to give each other a high five and missed and hit each other, accidentally hit each other and then got fired about it. You know what I mean? So
It's like a lack of patience.
right,
on
or maybe they
everybody's
just
part.
their new world is a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's just over.
I caution parents, like at the Flynn meeting,
Uh-huh.
it, just even in the hallways, kids are lined up, they walk in line, it's very orderly,
Right.
they're expected to be silent,
Right.
and coming here, it's not that way.
Right.
And I don't know what the answer is.
And it may be that we do more, like as we think about it over this course of the year and plan for next year, is that we can do things like sixth graders can move in, like they can be in a class and just move in that class. We can line them up. I mean, we maybe just want to think about it, to try to transition it a little bit better.
Are there like certain more fights in the hallway, or is
It's mostly, it's kind of, it's hallway. I mean, I would think it's hallway more than anywhere else. Because the classrooms, we don't see it.
is there like, do
We've
certain
seen
teachers
it.
have hall duty?
Yeah, all the teachers are out, and they actually, the kids line up on the walls before they come into the classrooms. So, sometimes it's coming up from the cafeteria in the morning, so we've added more supervision there.
That was last year too.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things that's just really trying to think through it and figure that part out. But we take it very seriously. I mean, the kids, they get suspended. The next time they have additional days. I mean, so when they come in, we have meetings with the parents when they come back in. But I think since we've seen this pattern twice now, with the sixth grade boys, that we just really do need to do some thought, some thinking around it.
But I heard about girls, not boys. But the girls isn't anything unusual?
I haven't. Mostly the numbers are from the boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only ones I heard about involved girls.
Yeah. Then musical. I think that Miss Bakeman does want to put on a musical again this year. She's thinking of High School Musical. How that works is that we actually buy the musical from Broadway Junior is the company, and we just buy the set, and so we just need to look online and see how much it costs. There is money in the budget for theater now from the C&I department, and Melissa brought up maybe if PTO wanted to help support the musical. I think that's great if that's something you guys want to do. I know the kids love it, and it's a great experience. So I think that we're going to try to get that rolling after Thanksgiving, get with Miss Bakeman and put on a production again like we did. It would be in the springtime.
Now, why would Miss Bakeman do it as opposed to the theater
Miss
teacher?
Bakeman just wants to do it.
Or would the theater teacher do it?
She's actually, she hasn't approached me about it. Now, she does a lot of one acts and things like that. The theater teacher does already, and I know she's also writing curriculum, so I'm not sure if she may want to do it. She hasn't brought it up to me. Miss Bakeman has. So,
Seems like,
yeah.
Together.
Yes. And I would think so too. The other thing that's kind of going on that we're just getting our groundwork started, but you'll hopefully see, is we're doing a real push with literacy. We're starting kind of a tiered level of literacy and movement towards literacy. The first big jump off point is that we've connected with the Why Read program, and we're going to be a site for Why Read. And Why Read is like Oasis tutors, only for middle school, where you can come in, parents can volunteer, community members. We're going to use the high school students for the You Serve. We're going to get WashU students, and they will come in and they do like a training. It's like 4 hours of training, and then you commit to reading with the kid 2 hours a week. And they do put pre-tests and post-tests, and we're actually going to partner with the U City Library to help recruit volunteers and do the training and things like that. So that's kind of the first jump-off point. We're also going to, in terms of literacy, really looking at studies and research of how many books a kid should read a year, and then start publicizing to parents, like when you get your report card home over Christmas or the holiday break, you'll get information on SRI, and you'll get your SRI report of your child, and you'll get their Discovery Education, and we're going to give some reading lists, options, and things like that to help educate parents on what are Lexiles, how those fit in, things like that. And then the next big push is with the building. Teaching over the summer, we're going to do some literacy institutes and teaching reading in the content areas, and teaching writing in the content areas. So we do a lot more article reading in science and social studies, a lot more writing kind of come up with the basics of what we're gonna, a lot more nonfiction reading, nonfiction writing, and do a real push